Is music industry built to make people rich, or it was built to make only few people rich?
Well, the music industry is not supposed to make artists rich. It's supposed to make artists exploitable. That's it. Because of that, you know what I mean? I will not allow you to sample my music because I don't want my work to pay for those people's school fees. When he's talking about those people, he's talking about the Neanderthals that own the music, you know. So those are the things that the system was designed to keep us poor.
Oh.
And so that we are not owners. Do you understand? Because they will be making more money off of it than she is. And they will be able to take their kids to the best schools. Their kids will be going. So this goes back to the thing that I was saying to you, or that you were asking me about who's making the money off of the music. The record labels were selling CDs of international music and selling cassettes of local music because the margins on international music was better. So the distribution fees that they charge to internationals are higher. You understand? So when Kanye West is releasing his album, right, the distribution fee that he's charged for the sales in America are lower than the distribution fees that he's charged for sales in Africa, Europe, anywhere, any other markets, right? So when Tugutsela says Mavulak Valiwe, he means the gatekeeper of prosperity because he never value. I'm just translating one here.
What is the biggest lie that the record label normally say or
There's
tell
no
the
money in the
artist?
music industry because it's her duty. So our music is our spirituality. It's within us. So we would do this work without getting paid, and that's why we're exploitable. And so the record companies, they'll tell us that there's no money in this thing. And then we'll say, okay, it's fine, as long as it's or something. Yeah, on seats. Because of how difficult it is to get a bum on a seat. The bum needs to book a ticket, right? Depending how old that bum is, right? It might need to get a babysitter or go to look after the little bums. You know what I mean?
The way you're now.
Yeah, I'm just saying to get the bum on the seat.
Continue.
Yes, it's not like the bums that are useless. Those bums have pockets, you understand? And those pockets have wallets, and they buy tickets.
Okay.
And it's much more difficult to buy tickets, book, schedule, drive, book a taxi, a train. Our sisters are the biggest advertisers of alcohol. And I've got an argument to say that South Africa would still be in apartheid today if our mothers drank. South Africa is struggling to recover from apartheid today because our sisters drink. And a lot of the problems that we see in our society today is because of alcohol abuse.
Nota, there is growth in streaming in South Africa. However, I want us to talk about royalties. Please break it down for us. Last time, we did an educational episode concerning a lot of things. Today, I want us to speak about earning through digital platforms, which relate to streaming. Can you kindly break it down to me? How does it work?
Okay, well, what we have is a royalty pool, right? Which is derived from whether it be advertiser revenue or subscriptions. So when everyone pays their 60 Rand, 70 Rand, or how many rands they pay to Apple Music monthly, right? That goes into the subscription pool, the subscription revenue pool. And when advertisers advertise their products on these streaming platforms, right, they pay a certain percentage of that money that they generate from the ads into their advertiser revenue pool, which is just revenue share. So platforms like Spotify, they sell advertising. So sometimes when you listen to Spotify, if you got a Spotify free tier subscription where you don't pay any monthly subscription, every couple of songs you'll hear an advert coming on, or you'll see that certain features you cannot have. Like you cannot just select which songs that you want to play. You cannot just skip from one song to another song. Like the songs are usually recommended to you, etc., etc. So the features are limited, right? But that still generates revenue for the artists whose music is placed on those platforms. And that revenue is part of the revenue that's shared with the artists out of the pool. The streaming pool splits up the revenue between the platform itself and the creators whose content is being shared, or the license holders or the rights holders, right? 70-30. So the platform keeps 30% of that revenue, and then they take the rest of the advertising revenue or the subscription revenue, the 70%, and they pay it out to the owners of the rights of the music that is up on the platform. Spotify has changed the way in which they pay now. They only pay those rights holders that have got over, I think, 1,000 streams per month on their song, or more than 1,000 monthly listeners or listening on the platform. Whereas with Apple Music, they don't sell any advertising, so it's all subscription funded, and they pay out also a little bit more per stream than Spotify does, because Spotify pays you differently depending on whether the stream was a paid stream, so someone who's a subscriber to Spotify who pays the monthly subscription, or whether it was just an advertiser, what you call a revenue share stream, which then pays out a little bit less than the streams that you get from premium subscribers. And the same works in YouTube as well, which has got the same model, just a different subscription fee. I think on YouTube it's 90 Rand a month or something like that.
So tell me something, because I get confused when it comes to YouTube. I always say, obviously, angazi in terms of how things are structured, but I'll be like, wait a minute. How do they differentiate when you have to upload your music versus me who's uploading this episode on YouTube? Do you get kind of different YouTube studio? Because I'm always stressed with how do you follow up?
Yeah, YouTube has a cost per milli structure. So cost per milli meaning 1,000th. So 1 in 1,000th, 1,000th, or 1,000, right, in Latin. So you look at the CPM for different types of content, right? If you're making financial marketing content, a cost per milli applies both ways. So the cost to put an advert that is advertising financial products in front of 1,000 people is higher than an advert that is advertising like a new church that you're opening. Let's just say, right? So the payer, right, who is the person who's advertising, the church or the foundation or the financial services provider, right, they pay differently depending on which category they're in, right? And so do the content creators, who then get revenue share because they're sharing the same revenue that YouTube is getting, right? So if YouTube is getting less from financial services, from churches, right, then the person who's got a share in that advertiser revenue, because the adverts are being played alongside their content, or they're being in-streamed into their content, or they're just below their content, or there's banner ads that are appearing, whatever the case may be, that person then is going to have a lesser, lesser revenue that they're making, because they're sharing from a smaller pie, So if it's financial services, that's a bigger pie. Whereas with music has got separate licensing agreements that the major record labels, because they are the rights owners or rights holders for most of the rights, over 60% of the rights are managed or controlled by the major labels. In fact, even more than that, if you then include all the major label-owned distribution companies. And they sign their own deals with YouTube for how much revenue they get a share in from each play of their content. And they've also got different regiments, like Sony and Universal did a joint venture to create a platform called Vivo, which is for music videos only. Vivo was basically MTV, except each artist had their own Vivo page and Vivo channel, right? Yes. So people stopped watching music videos on MTV, started watching them on YouTube. And then Vivo said, we will make sure that we then license out all these music videos to YouTube, and then we also do all the quality control. So if you look at Vivo, to upload on Vivo, you need to upload it in a different format, like Apple ProRes, which is a higher format than just a normal standard MP4. And that helped them with the quality control as well, to ensure that those music videos are in the best possible quality no matter where you play them in the world. So music has got its own thing. As for the other content, they just use standard YouTube licenses, and that's terms, terms of service, right? If you go through the terms of service and then you look at the YouTube standard license, that will tell you how they pay out. And that's a standard license, that is a blanket license for anyone that uploads their content onto YouTube. You consent to having your content licensed under those terms because that's part of the terms of service.
Okay. So now, when I checked, 2024, I was told that for the first time on Spotify, South African artist made a lot of money. How true is that?
Well, I mean, it depends what a lot is.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, because if you're saying it's the South African music industry and you look at how many active artists we've got, you can compare it with some of the biggest markets in the world because we've got a lot of active artists, a lot of active genres. I think not even the United States has got as many active artists as South Africa has.
Serious?
I mean, how many genres do they have there?
R&B,
Every
hip-hop.
genre that they have, we have, and we have more.
Oh, okay.
And we have it in different languages as well.
But
They have
wait.
it predominantly in English and Spanish.
Okay, but wait. If you say every genre they have, we have, do we have then not the financial muscle, but do we have the same reach in terms of, when Beyonce releases an album, normally when you go to YouTube, you're looking at Rihanna, you're like, yeah, 2
They've got a
years
bigger
ago.
market.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
They've got a bigger market. They've got 650 million people. We've got 65 million people. You know what I mean? So their market is 5 times bigger than ours.
Oh, speaking about that, how many people are in Nigeria?
No one knows, but it's around, it's between 210 to 230 million people.
Wait,
Yes.
why can't we then collaborate with Nigerians?
It's not about just how many people, it's about the internet connectivity. So how many people in Nigeria are connected to the internet? Over 70% of Nigeria's population is indigent, which means they're below the hunger line. Forget poverty.
Oh.
They're not just poor, they are starving. Broadband connectivity in Nigeria is far worse than in here, in South Africa. In fact, I think Nigeria only recently overtook South Africa in terms of how many people are connected to the internet. I think they overtook us in 2022. But before that, they had less than 35 million people connected to the internet.
So now roughly they have how many people
I
connected?
think just over 40 million people connected to the internet. It's almost similar to us.
In
just,
SA?
Just under 40 million.
SA, how many people are
Just
connected?
under 40 million.
In SA?
Yeah, to broadband internet.
Under 40 million people that side, under 40 million people this side.
No, they've got over 40 million people
Over?
connected. Yeah,
Okay.
and they're growing. Their connectivity is growing.
So then, okay. Looking,
But as a
it's very
percentage,
important.
we are much more well connected than they are. I mean, we've got over 95% of our population connected to electricity. They don't even have 50%.
Oh,
You understand what I'm saying?
hey, snap.
So, there's so many other things that you need to factor in
Because you know what?
as well. The standard of living,
Yes.
the income, our income levels. We pay more taxes, right, in South Africa. The revenue is collected, right? Although our majority of our tax is paid, but in terms of income tax is paid by 2% of our richest people, right?
Okay.
We collect as a country more taxes than Nigeria, Egypt, Algeria. Yeah, well, all 3 of those combined. But South Africa collects more taxes in our market, which is the biggest economy on the African continent, than the next 4 combined.
You know what's funny? South Africa is number 3 in terms of military strength. So it doesn't make sense that you are saying the SARS collect more money compared to these countries, but these countries,
They spend more of their money.
they spend more on military. I think it's
South Africa also spends more on education than many other countries. It's just that our return on investment is not
Poor. Very.
well. I mean, it can't materialize itself because we don't have the level of opportunity needed to absorb all the skills that we're creating. The reason we've got unemployment is because people are educated and the roles that they need to play are limited, and therefore you get people sitting at home with degrees.
Okay. So tell me something, Gay. I want us to talk about Mascandi. It has been said that Mascandi as well is on the rise. That's what I saw on ChatGPT and Gemini.
I mean, Mascandi has never been down.
Okay.
From day one. Mascandi is a cultural music genre. It's associated with Zulu culture. And Mascandi has been synonymous with Zulu people for as long as it is. It's just now Mascandi is gaining mainstream attention.
Okay.
Because of the success that artists are seeing digitally. Mascandi is now crossing over because Mascandi artists are now collaborating with artists in other genres, and therefore they are now exposing themselves to new fan bases. That's all that's happening. Other than that, we've always known that Mascandi is. I mean, we grew up watching Imizwilili.
Yes.
Sunday today, as we're recording.
Yes.
Imizwilili is supposed to be playing at some point in time on SABC1. I don't watch television anymore, but I believe that shows like Imizwilili should still be around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, speaking about Mascandi, you and I had a conversation last time, and it touched on Mascandi, and he's speaking about the quality of the music. But today I want us to speak about the quality of writing. There is a song from Unkeshana. Two songs. This one he's writing as a hitman who was hungry, decided to take a firearm, took somebody's life, got arrested. Now he's serving, more years in prison. The other one is writing to his parents. He's saying, Mama, please tell Daddy, I have this beautiful wife. She's, he then goes on to name the characteristics. Talk to me about the writing style. We can speak about the instruments because I know you had beef with the instrument, but talk to me. I was
beef with the
impressed.
instruments. I've got beef with the computers. I want more instruments, less computers.
Oh,
but
yes. So thank you for correction. But yeah, you've got beef with that. Talk to me about the quality of writing. I was listening to that song. I was like, what's your take?
No, I like the writing. The writing has always been good in Mascandi because they write about what people go through, their lives. A Mascandi song is like a man's diary. I like the writing. What I do feel like it shows is that, men are very artistic.
Okay.
Men are very sweet. Men are very kind. Men are very considerate. Like if you listen to Mascandi songs, even when they speak about their heartbreak or what they're going through, you know what I mean? They speak about the things that they aspire to either do or be.
Okay.
The type of men they want to be. You know what I mean? Even when they are writing love songs, you know what I mean? You can tell that this person wants whichever woman is listening to this to understand the sincerity of his feelings as well. So, I mean, it's their language and they write in their language, and that's why they're so articulate. You find other artists in other genres are more prone to writing in other languages that they didn't grow up with or that don't know, like as a first language. I grew up speaking English, so English is a default language. Like when I speak Xitsonga, I think whatever I'm thinking it in English, right? And then it has to come out my mouth in my language. So I can only imagine someone who thinks in isiZulu having to now write and have to translate it
that
into English. There's a lot that is lost. But with these Mascandi artists, because they're speaking predominantly to a Zulu audience that also want the language that they use. If you listen to Xhosa artists, right?
Yes.
Xhosa artists are very strictly judged on the type of language that they use. They're very popular in KZN because Zulu people have a feeling that Xhosa is very similar to Zulu, but it's also deeper or it's got more depth. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
okay.
It's a language that is not used conversationally. It's used poetically.
Yeah. You know, when Xhosa people speak, have got that thing. Or those people, man, they've got that thing, man. There's a way in which Xhosa people speak. You're like, yeah, no, a Xhosa person has spoken.
You understand what I'm saying? It's got certain, I don't know. It sounds ancient. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like their language came from a time before this present day. You know what I mean? It's as if they're imparting archival knowledge, right? Whereas songs that are written in isiZulu, it's as if they're talking about contemporary issues, how we're currently living.
Okay,
You know what I mean? So Mascandi is more of a ismanje manje genre than, you know, some of the Afro soul that you get, which is got Xhosa lyrics on it. So I think that's the difference. But when we're using our native tongues, that's the thing, is that we can articulate ourselves like in the greatest way. Like there's a Mascandi singer, right? His name is Tuktela.
Okay.
But he sings on beats that are what you call, the beats are 3-step. So it's dance music, right? But he's a Mascandi singer. So
Okay.
if you listen to how he sings, Tukutel, that is Mascandi singing. Take his vocals, strip away the music, sounds like any other Mascandi singer singing. Obviously, he has to, you know, adapt it for the type of music that he's making, you know?
Okay.
So just give me a second.
Okay, whilst we're still checking something there, I would like you to help me understand this, because there's a question that somebody asked me, and this person was like, "Is music industry built to make people rich, or it was built to make only few people rich?" Whilst you're still searching something there, and I thought about it, I was like, maybe it was built to make the record label rich, or the owners of the record label rich, the artist to get a bit of fair share, to be able to buy some things. I don't know. It still goes back to
Well, the music industry is not supposed to make artists rich. It's supposed to make artists exploitable. That's it. You know what I mean? There's an interview from Alicia Keys where she talks about how she wanted to sample a song from Prince. But because Alicia Keys is signed to RCA, which is owned by Sony, which is a Japanese-owned company, but it's controlled by, you know, British Zionists, the Stringer brothers, you know, one of the younger Stringer brother, Rob Stringer, you know. Because of that, he said, "I will not allow you to sample my music because I don't want my work to pay for those people's school fees." And when he's talking about those people, he's talking about the Neanderthals that own the music. You know, so those are the things that the system was designed to keep us poor.
Oh.
And so that we are not owners. Do you understand? Because they will be making more money off of it than she is. And they will be able to take their kids to the best schools. Their kids will be going to Georgia State University in Atlanta. Meanwhile, the artist who made the songs, that's paying the executive so that he can take his kids to school in America, he's now languishing and can't even, you know, his kids are at a no-fee school.
Okay, you wanted to check something. Did you find it?
No. I was checking lyrics because I posted them, and I don't want to forget them.
Okay, you coming. You want to ask something?
Yeah, while you added, on the Mascandi topic,
Can you bring the mic closer to your mouth a bit?
Oh, sorry. On the Mascandi topic, I wanted to ask if you think that Mascandi is only evolving because the culture wants it to evolve, or because the digital economy is rewarding certain parts of Mascandi. So I'm kind of like separating the two. I'm separating the cultural aspect and the digital aspect. What do you think drives?
It's just technology. So we're adapting in the ways in which we consume the music. Before, we consumed Mascandi music only on cassette. Mascandi record labels never released CDs in the past. They didn't. You couldn't buy a Mascandi CD. You could buy it in cassette form only. Do you understand? And then at a certain point in time, after the technology advanced, and they realized that actually our margins on CDs are much better than cassettes. So this goes back to the thing that I was saying to you, or that you were asking me about, who's making the money off of the music. The record labels were selling CDs of international music and selling cassettes of local music because the margins on international music was better. So the distribution fees that they charge to internationals are higher. You understand? So when Kanye West is releasing his album, right, the distribution fee that he's charged for the sales in America are lower than the distribution fees that is charged for sales in Africa, Europe, anywhere, any other markets, right? So they'd be making more on the distribution fees. But also the technology meant that to make CDs is cheaper than to make cassettes. So they'd have a greater margin on, the price to distributor because the manufacturing cost of CDs is less than that of cassettes, right? So those are the things that have slowed down its progress. And that's why it's looking like Mascandi is only now belatedly moving on to the new digital formats. Whereas it has always been there. It's just that it hasn't been monetizable because there wasn't any interest in monetizing South African music. They were more interested in monetizing international music because a lot of the music as rights were held and controlled by international majors, and we don't have a local major. What was supposed to be our local major is Gallo.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's practically defunct in terms of as a record label. They're more of a catalog label now. And they manage catalog. So those are the things that have now changed how we are perceiving Mascandi because of our growth in consumption. Because now, instead of just watching music videos on YouTube, you've actually got streaming platforms like YouTube Music. Now you've got Mascandi music that's being uploaded onto Spotify, places where it never was. Now people are going onto Spotify because they know they can find all their favorite Mascandi artists there. They can find the latest Mascandi songs on Spotify. They don't even need to go to the taxi rank. You know what I mean? And find out what's the latest. You know what I mean? So those are the things. So Tuhutela says in this song, which is, I think, the best song of 2025 that was released, but it's a 3-step song. He says, Wena mavula kuvaliwe. So he's saying, you, the gatekeeper of prosperity. So if you directly translate it, it's like, you, the opener of closed things. You've lost the meaning. You've lost completely. When Tuhutela says, mavula kuvaliwe, he means the gatekeeper of prosperity because yine value impumelelo.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So he's the person that is the gatekeeper of makuvaliwe yonke into. There's only one person that you can ask. You get on your knees and you pray to umavula kuvaliwe. So mdaliwe zinsuku. So mdaliwe zinsuku means that the creator of days, right? That's not what it means. That's a loose translation. Daliwe Zinsugu is the architect of existence.
Okay. Okay.
All that comes to be
Okay.
is by your design.
Okay. I see the difference.
Do you understand what I'm
I see
saying?
the difference.
And that's what now you look at the language itself. How can you say so much the architect of existence and then you say Mdaliwe Zinsugu? It's 3 words, right? It's 2 words. So one is what is it? Like where is not really a word, but yeah, it's like, but it's 3 words and it says so much. Do you know what I mean? It's very descriptive. And you can only understand that meaning if you understand the language. So that's why you find now that when people are translating these Mascandi songs to people who only speak English, they translate them directly. And yes, the English speakers will then get the meaning, but it needs someone who understands the language and the context in which these things are being said. This is a spiritual song as well. So you need to understand the spiritual spiritual element of it. Izinsuku is like, it's not amalanga. It's a different thing. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. Ngilalele noma isimo singavumi. Ngilalele noma isimo singavumi. Celo ngilalele nami. Hear my prayers in the most trying of circumstances. That's what that means.
Okay.
That's the most simplest one. It's the most wordy one. It's got the most Zulu words. And it's also the simplest to directly translate. That one you can directly translate, right? Hear my prayers too. You know what I mean? Obviously, that's an acknowledgement that God listens to everyone's prayers, you know, and therefore he might be busy going through his inbox of prayers.
Now I see the song. Celo ngilalele nami yazi or something around that. Yeah. Okay, continue. Hey.
That's it. Bengicela. That's the song,
Hey.
yes.
Because I was like, I wonder which is the song, but now I get it. Oh, no. You're right. You know what? You're raising a very important point. Someone once said, I think, this lady, yeah, she said something very interesting this other time. I think she was speaking about a song that was speaking about weekend, what, and said people never actually realized the meaning of the song. And I remember listening to this interview when she was like, I was complaining that you guys are leaving for a weekend. From just this weekend to another
Fetch
week.
Your Life.
Yeah. She was like, nah, man. But I see
But she
people
sings in English. You understand? She writes in English. And even when she writes in our language, she writes like an English person writing in our language. So it's like she's got another song that's Kusela. Bawa. That's possibly the most terribly written song I've heard. You know what I mean? It's like I wish she had actually found someone who knows how to write in either isiZulu or isiXhosa. Because like listen to how Tubitela's writing. You understand?
okay,
It's not.
okay.
It's like Tubitela's saying the same thing that she's saying in Kusela. Bawa Kusela abantwana bakho. You understand what I'm saying? So she's saying, Bao, like, watch over all your children. And
Wait.
he's saying, Bao, listen
Nota,
to all of our prayers.
What you are basically
even mine
saying
too.
here is that if we don't get it right from writings, how the songs are written, we're actually losing the actual songs, regardless of
Music
the
is spiritual.
intention.
Our music is spirituality. These are not lyrics. These are spells. Do you understand? And not spells in terms of curses. There's a difference between a spell and a curse.
Okay. What's the difference?
Well, a spell is when you're putting something in words that you want to manifest in reality. Right? And a curse is when you're putting something in words that you want to manifest a disaster for either someone or something. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to curse you. Ngiyakubopha, ngiyakuzale wena. Things like that. That's a curse. You know what I mean? Zalana nande nina. Like, that's a spell. It's like you're making a spell and you want them to have abundance or whatever.
Okay. I don't know if you guys are answered. I think I'm answered. Okay.
I'm answered.
All right. What's the biggest lie?
I am Bendul.
Okay. But what is
That's
the
my name translated. I'm just translating my name, yeah.
what is the biggest lie that record label normally say or
There's no
tell
money
their
in the
artists?
music industry.
Please elaborate.
Yes, that's the biggest lie. They always have to convince the artists that the mere fact that they're earning money, they should count themselves lucky. A lot of artists do a lot of free work. Just think about your grandmother. Nah? Before she gets to the age where now she needs to extract the work from the younger people in the family, how much free work does she do? Have you ever paid your grandmother for carrying you on her back?
No.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Ukuthulisa mawukhala, taking you to the doctor, giving you remedies, all that stuff. I mean, when you go to the doctor, right? Those nurses that help you there, they are paid.
Yes, that's true.
That doctor that checks you is paid.
In fact, let's start from here.
But
the
how many
taxi,
times do you get
the taxi
sick?
you use.
Everybody.
So it's always
Everybody's
cost.
But ukoko stays with you most of the time. There are many times you are sick and ukoko, we are glapa without taking you to anyone else. But you never pay a cent for that. Let me take it to another perspective. Let's say,
okay.
make, for example, let's say you are married, right?
Yes.
You are married, right? And your wife works, right? So now you need someone, amazo salikane nengane or whatever it is, cleaning the house and everything else. Now, let's say you've got a housewife. Your housewife, right? Does she get more money from you, right, than your maid? Yes or no?
The housewife gets more money. In fact, she's the one paying the maid.
Do you understand what I'm saying? she's the one that's deciding how much the maid should earn. She decides this is how much this other woman should be able to do for her own children while she's taking care of mine and abandoning her own.
Nota, now the way we show our corner, it sounds like it's so realistic, man. That now that I'm thinking about it, she's paid to abandon her children so she can take care of mine.
Yes.
It's painful.
Yeah. No. So now,
When you think about it, it's painful.
exactly, and she abandons her children. Noban. No cock.
Wait, we Henzibe Westfoot, the same
So,
Goko who does not get paid.
for the work that she's doing. You understand what I'm saying? But it's because it's her duty. So our music is our spirituality. It's within us. So we would do this work without getting paid, and that's why we're exploitable. And so the record companies, they'll tell us that there's no money in this thing. And then we'll say, okay, it's fine, as long as it's or something. Yeah,
Okay, speaking about it, actually,
so
like the music
only
label
way
again.
that lie works is if you believe that there's no money in this industry, and therefore you are willing to do the work that you don't get paid for.
Okay, speaking about that, someone asked me to ask you, why do artists get booked but still broke? Because you said when we see an artist topping charts, it doesn't mean they have made money, but it means value is curated right there. So then the artist will have to sell the value to make money. So this person gets the bookings, but still broke after that. Why?
It's because they don't save for retirement. And they don't increase the ways in which they should earn. Now you've got streaming. You shouldn't need to be getting booked. You know what I mean?
Please explain.
Like if Kuzani's streamed his album 20 million times, why does he need to perform? Because the 20 million streams are supposed to be paying him a lot of money. And if he lives within reasonable means, that money should be able to get him through. Our cost of living is not that expensive in South Africa compared to other more developed countries or the competing countries. Like we're one of the top 20 music markets in the world. So I want to compare us to those, you know what I mean?
Top 20?
Yeah. In terms of revenue.
Serious?
Yeah. We're a big boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We are higher up than G20 when it comes to music. We deserve our place in that top 20.
Oh,
When it
all
comes to
right.
music. Yeah.
You want to ask something?
I think my question is, how important is it for artists to extend their brands? For instance, let's say someone is an actor. How important is it that they extend to other things that can make them money, but also stay true to their artistry?
Please bring the mic.
I think of people like Pearl Tusi. She's an actress, but she's been able to extend her brand to other things.
Yeah.
But you people, culture, gatekeepers of culture, we are still the same people who are dragging her on social media.
Let me put it to you like this, right? Let's say you hiring people for your house.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you hire someone who's going to cook, clean, do everything else, right? All these duties. Are you going to pay them separately for each of those jobs? Or are you going to pay them a lesser rate for doing all those things? What will cost you more? To hire a cook, to hire a cleaner that cleans the house, to hire someone that does the laundry, or to hire someone that does all three?
Just to hire somebody that does all of three things.
So therefore, if you now are shifting your focus within your craft to other things, you're discounting yourself. You're saying that whatever I do is not valuable enough for me to focus on that only. And that's why artists that maybe don't have the talent to be, or to produce groundbreaking work in a specific genre or field, they then see themselves being forced to be a jack of all trades and having to, multitask and all
Jack of all trades and master of none.
Exactly.
Are you
And
answering?
is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing of being a jack of all trades and master of none?
is it a bad thing to be a master of none? I don't think it's a bad thing to be a jack of all trades. You understand? But if you master nothing at all, then you haven't really gotten to a level of accomplishment that deserves praise or reward or even remuneration. You know what I mean? It's like a trainee teacher. You know what I mean? They're just a trainee teacher. They haven't gotten to the stage where they can now, be a principal, a headmaster, head of department. You know what I mean? A lecturer, a professor. You have to get up to those stages, and you get to those stages through accomplishment, and your accomplishment is measured on the level of excellence. You know what I mean? You can accomplish something, but without a level of excellence, just for the sake of accomplishing it, or you can accomplish something with a level of excellence that is praiseworthy, that is noteworthy, and that is revered over time.
What you are saying is you can pass a grade by, if the passing rate is 50%, you can pass by just getting 51%. Then there's someone who passed by 75% and above, and they get recognized.
And they get bursaries, they get scholarships, they get awards, they get all of those things, right? But you could pass all the grades, go to dancing classes, also get your dancing colors, go to drama school, also get your drama colors. So everything else, in addition to, your focus, you know what I mean? Your prerequisites, right? Those are like in school. If you're excelling at your prerequisites, right, and failing at your electives, it's fine. But if you're just making it by on your prerequisites, right, and also having a whole lot of electives, the lecturer or the student advisor will tell you, drop some of these electives and focus on your prerequisites so you can get better marks in your prerequisites, right? Yeah.
I hope you answered.
I'm answered.
Right. Now, Nota, tell me something. What is this one clause that is commonly found in when record labels are signing musicians? What is this one common clause that you'll say, hey, be careful of this type of clause?
I don't think there's one clause in particular that I can say that one should be careful of, right? But the one thing is, be careful of signing a contract in a language that you do not think in. If you're going to sign a contract, make sure that contract is translated into your mother tongue, the same language that you used to think. Yeah. I think that's more important than anything else, because then once you've got that, you've got a better understanding of no matter whatever clause they can try to sneak in. Yeah. And there's no reason why you can't insist.
The translation.
And, okay.
I see what you're saying.
Yes.
You are saying, like, what normally happens in court. Right now, there's an Ethiopian man who was arrested for human trafficking. Apparently, not apparently, because police have
Allegedly,
done that.
but yeah.
Allegedly. They found 10 children.
Minors.
Yes.
Naked in his house.
Yes.
Yeah, I know the story.
Exactly.
It's all over the news.
Yes. But then he was arrested somewhere around Joburg, and apparently, allegedly was running away from the police, and they chased him, found him at Commissioner Street, and then got him arrested. So he appeared in court. Now they were like, he's an Ethiopian. So we must find a translator.
Yeah,
the case cannot continue
without someone
because
speaking Amharic.
Everything must be translated into a language.
To Amharic, yeah.
No.
Amharic.
Ethiopian, they need...
Yeah, no, Amharic, that's the language they speak.
Yeah, yes. Everything has to be translated according to his language. Other than that, the case will be unfair.
Yeah.
So you are basically saying use the same principle.
Actually, there's
for your
something,
own benefit.
There's something I've just thought of thanks to that example of yours. This is what I forgot. Yes. So apart from making sure that it's in your own language, make sure that it's the contract that you sign is under South African law. Because there's international companies. So you sign with these companies, whatever, TuneCo or whoever, they're domiciled in various countries. Maybe in those countries they use EU laws, like in France, or they use American law, you know what I mean? Or they use British law, which is similar to ours. It's Roman law, you know what I mean? We've got Roman Dutch law here, but we've also got customary laws, you know what I mean? And those things play a role in some of the cultural works that we have and how they're exploited. We need to also include customary law into our contractual agreements, because there are certain, customs that we have culturally, right? And this is cultural work. And so you need to ensure that the contract is written under the correct legal regiment,
So it does happen where a person will sign with an international company. They will use the laws. If the international company is from America, they will use their laws to sign a South African artist. So when you take them to court in South Africa, then the South African government will be like, but prove the laws here.
Yeah. Or they could declare force majeure for something that's not even happening in South Africa. Let's say there's a nuclear war in Ukraine, right? And then the contract, it says if there's nuclear war, they don't have to pay you. But you're like, no, but there's no nuclear war in South Africa. But it's like, yeah, this contract is not under South African law either way.
This is a game of sharks, eh?
It's a game of hidden spells. Like I told you, language is spells. As we're speaking right now, we're casting spells. Hopefully these spells are good spells and they're going to help people be informed.
They will.
They'll be empowered. We're not cursing people.
They will.
Yeah.
If Nota one day somebody comes and say, I didn't know. They'll be like, but there was a podcast about that. You just chose not to watch the podcast. It's not our problem then. It's your ignorance. So suffer the
And
consequences.
ignorance is not an excuse, right?
Exactly.
In the South African law.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, you can't say bengas.
Exactly. But Nota, somebody asked me this question and someone said,
But it's
what?
funny, you can say you didn't understand, but you can't say you didn't know. That's strange.
Technicalities of the law. Tell me something there. Somebody says, there are people who are famous, very famous. But when they're supposed to fill up something like, not necessarily 20,000 venue, a simple venue got 7,000. It's a struggle.
It's simple, 7. Okay.
No. I'm saying that.
Start with 70.
No, but there's a level of fame.
No, 70 is a big number as well.
But there's a level of fame where you like, with me, on my other channel, I've got 128,000 subscribers.
But how easy is it to subscribe?
No. Listen, hear me out.
Yeah.
I'm saying I've got that, right? And then I've got less than 100 people paying members. So then there's McG, who's now chasing 2 million. And the paying members also are very good. You know what I'm saying? So when you compare me and McG, I could fill up a 50, KFC in a restaurant with 50 people. I can. You understand? But people are saying, McG, based on your numbers, man, we are expecting you not to chase the 50 people venue what. We chase at least the man run rate. You understand? Because, we are chasing 2 million.
He's smarter than that.
No, but we're just making an example to say there are
no.
people who are more famous, but when it comes to practicality now, an event that we're like, but man, come on, based on the numbers, there's something that is not making sense here. Why is it that people are struggling to translate their fame into a real
Bums on seats. Because of the how difficult it is to get a bum on a seat. The bum needs to book a ticket, right? Depending how old that bum is, right? It might need to get a babysitter or go to look after the little bums. You know what I mean?
The way you're now.
Yeah, I'm just saying to get the bum on the seat.
Continue.
Yes, it's not like the bums Ishwa Panje that are useless. Those bums have pockets, you understand? And those pockets have wallets and they buy tickets.
Okay.
And it's much more difficult to buy tickets, book, schedule, drive, book a taxi, a train, or whatever it is to get you to and from wherever it is, than it is to just click subscribe on someone's page. And that's why the conversion rate is what people should be focusing on. How many of my followers and subscribers am I able to convert into paying customers or long-term clients?
This conversation, it relates to this. I remember watching this analyst who was saying, if EFF, if elections were to be contested online, no one will compete with EFF. EFF will win online.
You see, those are things that the online space is also very tainted. There's more payola in the online space than there is in the traditional media space because it's less easy to regulate.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm giving you an example. Like today I was looking at the numbers of iShow Speed Stream
Okay.
in Rwanda, right? And you see, I don't know much about Rwanda, ne? But let me just quickly, population of Rwanda. What comes up when I say that, you know? So iShow Speed Stream in 24 hours had as many views as his stream in South Africa had in 10 days. In 24 hours, they got South Africa. Well, in less than 24 hours, in 20 hours, they got as many numbers as South Africans streams. So 4.9 million views, right?
Logic
Now,
tells me.
according to stats, right? Or the 2022 census, right? The last count of Rwanda's population in 2022 was 3.2 million. Right now, the current estimation is 13.2 million, sorry. Right? 13.25 million was in 2022. Currently, they're looking at 14 million, right? Which is less than 1 million people added in the past 4 years, right? Does it make sense that they would have much more broadband connectivity than South Africa, or have much more YouTube subscribers than South Africa, that they would get more people watching? No, it makes no sense. So that's why the online space can be manipulated. There are people that can bring in like bots, etc., etc. And that's why it's very difficult to now say that, okay, Nkeshemba can't fill an arena. Can't. Right? Who's this other one? Who's got this?
I think on Speed's issue, do you think his reach is only limited to Rwandan people?
Microphone.
Is it
Continue.
only limited to Rwandan people, or I mean, he's created a market for himself.
No, I don't want to.
He's been to Zim. He's been to
Yeah.
Zaria,
I
all
see
these
what you're
places.
saying.
Yeah.
So the reach is not only limited to Rwandan people. So
No.
the people that we are seeing on the stream,
No.
it's not only Rwandan people.
Yeah. So
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So that's the thing, is that he's been to 6 countries. So you can say the same thing about all 6 of those countries. Why is Rwanda sticking out like a sore thumb? Rwanda, because on its population, it shouldn't have.
Because it's been able to generate audience across
Okay.
all these countries. So that's why the numbers are higher.
If that's your answer, then that's how. But I'm telling it like it is. So there's ways in which we can measure if something is botted, right? You just actually have to look at it. You go down. If you go to these Mascandi artists that have got 20 million views, how many comments do they have? You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
The engagement tells you, because the engagement needs a username, it needs a profile. It's much more difficult to fake engagement than it is to just fake views, right?
You're up to something there. You're up to
So,
something.
Makondana
Yeah.
is a song by Feza. It's number 2 on Apple Music,
Yeah.
right? Do you think Feza can fill up an arena?
Not sure.
Okay, look at all these artists that are doing better. Do you think, what's that other one with the red album?
Not
The
sure.
red album.
Not sure.
Who's the red album guy?
Ilo culingoma ethi ubuhle bungaka ngabuqala.
Mzukulu. Umzukulu, can he fill up Mapita?
No, I doubt.
Yeah. But he's doing better numbers than Ukuzani right now. And Ukuzani had 30,000 people at Mapita.
Wait, Nota. Hey.
So that's the thing, is that we look at these numbers and we see them, right? And good, it's nice. Our brothers are making money. I'm not going to hate on my brothers getting money. But when I actually look at what I'm really seeing,
Yo.
if it was other people, maybe I'd be more critical. But at the same time, you can't just keep quiet about what we're noticing, because there's young ones that are watching, and they need to know that, hey, some of these things that we see online and we say, hey, numbers don't lie, numbers do lie. They tell many lies.
No, you're making sense. I'll tell you why. Even on YouTube, you're making a very important point.
Yeah.
someone. There's a channel by Mzansi Unfiltered. Mzansi Unfiltered. She was like, hey, Bongs. I think it was last week as of us recording this video. She was like, hey, man, there's this YouTube channel here. This YouTube channel has got maybe close to, close to 500,000. But when the person posts a video, it has got 100 views. And she was like, nah, man, there's something that doesn't make sense here. The number of subscribers versus the people watching the videos. Nah, man.
Okay, let's say I go to MUT. How many students are at MUT? It's fine. Okay, all you students, I want you to all use your student email address. I think you've got a student email address. It's attached to your student number. Use those student email address to create new email addresses. All of you, I want to create 5 different Gmail accounts, 5 different Ymail accounts, 5 different Hotmail accounts, 5 different Live accounts, 5 different @me accounts, 5 different whatever. All these different email services, right? So one person can have 500 different email addresses. And now use each and every one of those email addresses to now open an account. Those accounts, they can watch, they can stream, right? But they can't be commenting one by one and do that engagement one by one. So when you look at the engagement, that's where you look. Me, I always track my engagement. I don't care about how many views or how many followers or how many subscribers I've got, right? So which is like, this is the reason why I don't post on TikTok. Because I'd rather have content where you can see it's me, and you can see how many different people have posted content featuring me. And then in each of those posts, you can see how many people are commenting. And then the thing that you know is that I'm not responsible for those posts. I'm not responsible for those accounts. It's other people that are doing that. So I've got no control over who can comment or who can't comment. I've got no control over how many comments are there, right? But when you see me and you see someone else, Umzugulo837 on TikTok, posting it, right? The people that are commenting are his followers and the people he's recommended to. You know I've got no control over that. So you know it's credible. You can see the impact. It's like a serious impact.
I'm making a very important point.
You understand what I'm saying?
You're making a very important point. Back in the days, even YouTube used to have a strict policy around this. That's called sub to sub. They even had apps, sub to sub. So they will normally, you will go into these apps, you will watch someone's channel. Maybe they will say, please watch this video. Then you subscribe. Then they will say, if you've got 3 Gmail accounts, you watch with these 3 different Gmail accounts and subscribe. But when it comes to,
by the way,
no stress.
No, people will be thinking I'm drinking tea and I'm wiping it on myself.
Oh. So when it comes to engagement, it will be something else. But even those videos, later on, you go back and you're looking at the performance of that channel. You will find the subscribers, it's maybe 20K. The numbers. 10 people watch the video. Because those are organic numbers. You cannot fake those organic numbers. So you are saying something that makes sense not just for musicians, content creators on YouTube. It's something that has been there. But I think of lately, this thing of sub to sub, it's dying down on YouTube.
A follow for a follow.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. I'm searching here.
Yes.
Right. I don't know if they've clamped down on it enough. Because I'm seeing what I'm seeing. But what I'm searching for here, I want to see how many people in Rwanda are connected to the internet out of that 14 million, So they've got 5 million people using the internet in Rwanda.
It doesn't make sense.
So the entire population
doesn't make sense,
Rwanda.
I'm telling you.
But it's not only Rwandan people that are watching.
You see,
wait.
If we've got a three-way conversation, we won't hear because there's someone who's listening and trying to listen to the point of listening, right? And then someone who's just like trying to believe a certain thing and not actually critically analyzing, like going through the actual stats. It makes no sense that there'd be people more interested in a country like Rwanda, which has only 14 million people. It's got 5 times less our population. So I spoke about the numbers in America, which has got 5 times more our population. And it makes sense why their numbers are bigger. So at the same time, it cannot make sense why America's numbers are bigger and then also make sense why Rwanda's numbers are bigger. Both can't be true. Do you understand what I'm saying? So as I'm saying, if your entire population, okay, it's South Africa, right? I think our broadband, Rwanda's broadband connectivity is 38% of the thingamajig. So as of June last year, they had 5.5 million active internet users. Do you understand what I'm saying? So those are the things that we need to understand. Like when you're questioning it, you need to look at it and critically analyze it. You can't just go to the first thing that is the first assumption, which is like, oh yes, everybody's a good actor. You look at the type of country it is. Rwanda is a country where they don't have free speech. You can't just say anything. You can be arrested for things that you say. It's a very repressive country. Rwanda is a country where the president wins an election with a margin of over 90%. It's not a very democratic country. So it's not a country where you can actually get the truth of any matter because you know that there's strong consequences for going against the government, party line or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's very difficult to get access to information to a country like that. A country like South Africa, you get access to every information. Whether our president was busy at a Pakistani shop or whatever, busy comparing prices. You understand what I'm saying? You will see that. You won't see a CCTV footage of Paul Kagame walking around in Rwanda. In his country, no, you won't see that. You won't see journalists on television criticizing Paul Kagame, you know what I mean, of Rwanda, in Rwanda, because of how repressive that country is. So when I use that country as an example, and I'm saying, just use this as an example and go out there and do your own research. Check out the engagement. Check out how many people are commenting. You cannot tell me that a country with only 14 million people has the world's interest. Okay, what else from Rwanda are the rest of the world interested in? At least in South Africa, you can say, oh no, the people are interested in our Amapiano. They're interested in the fact that we've sold our safaris and the Big Five and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Rwanda's not known for the Big Five. They're known for walking with gorillas and stuff like that, the jungle. They're known for the Rwandan genocide and stuff like that. If you want to walk through, museums of mass death events, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't know if people are really interested in going to see the remains of a genocide. It's not like a tourist attraction. But, maybe some people are sadistic enough to want to do that, right? Then you look at broadband connectivity, the internet penetration, access to electricity as well. You know what I mean? All of those things need to be factored in when you're now critically analyzing. Then some people say, but maybe it's because this one was on a weekend and in South Africa it was at the end of the weekend or just before the weekend. It's like, no, in South Africa those were public holidays, so public holidays count as weekends. You know what I mean? And if you look at South African stats, weekend and public holiday consumption is much less than during the week consumption. In fact, our consumption peaks between 9 a.m. between 11 a.m. and 9 p.m. Right? That's where our internet consumption peaks in our country. And then from 9 p.m.
Yeah, you're right. Even YouTube says that.
Yeah, so from 9 p.m. to, again, 10 a.m., it's at its lowest.
You're right. On Sunday, it peaks around between 3 to 4 p.m. on Sunday. And then, look, it peaks again. But it's not that big. On Sunday, it starts around 3 or 4. I think it's 4. From 4 to 9 p.m. Done. From there, people are out of the internet.
Yeah. So, those are the things that you need to now factor in to what you're saying. So when you're also seeing that, you must think, okay, what is the population of KZN? Okay, similar to the population of Gauteng. Okay, what is the population of Zulu speakers in South Africa? Similar probably to the population of Rwanda as a whole, right? Probably like 14, 15 million Zulu speakers, 14 million Rwandans, right? And now when you're saying, okay, fine, these are the people that listen to Mascandi the most, right? Outside of these people, is anyone else listening to Mascandi? Yeah, but here and there.
Okay.
Wherever Mascandi is listened to, there are Zulu people around. It's not Mascandi being listened to and there's no Zulu person around. You know what I mean? You're not going to go to Malamulele where there's no Zulu person around at all. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you'll find someone, Usbar, Umzulu.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Or,
That's the
Usquiza,
people are
Umzulu.
influenced to listen to the
understand?
music.
And then, therefore, it now starts spreading because Ingani Nazo, I mean, they've got a different culture. That's when you move in different areas. In Gauteng, you get a mix of everybody. You get a mix of everyone. But you get a lot of Zulu people as well. Even then, there are places that you know that Mascandi is dominant here.
Yeah.
Certain areas. It's
Yes.
not everywhere. You know what I mean? So those are the things that you now also need to factor in when you're looking at this rise of Mascandi that you're seeing and this digital rise. You must also understand that the same way Mascandi has always been accused of, like when they do Song of the Year, that people are buying SMSs. And if those people have got that culture, nothing stops them from opening streaming farms. And that's why there's pictures of campuses at MUT where all the screens are playing Mzugulu, but there's not a student in sight. In fact, all the students are on break. Ikolos valiwe, but the computers at school are streaming Mzugulu's album. Anjan.
He's onto something. Let
Must
me
be
remind
all
you
the ones that
something.
are writing supplementary exams, man.
Let me remind you something, ne? There was a year where Kozane won something on Ukoze FM. So now they were calling for this supposed listener who's now supposed to get an award. Guess who answers the phone? Kozane himself. So it speaks to this culture of numbers being manipulated. So Nota is right to say numbers are not always telling the real story. You understand? But you want to say something. Say something.
No, I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
But I don't think people are interested in Rwanda, but they're interested in Speed and what Speed does. So they just follow Speed wherever he goes. It doesn't matter if he went to whatever country.
Before you speak, Nota,
They're just
I want to say
interested
something
in
to
Speed and what he does and where he goes. That's the person that they are following.
Yeah.
Not really Rwanda.
Okay. I want to ask you something. I see where you're coming from. I also understand where Nota's coming from. Let me. For us to see this now, after South Africa, this guy Uyegope from South
Mozambique.
Africa. All right, we're speaking momentum because your argument is about momentum. We'll then have to say in South Africa, what were the numbers? Let's argue. It was 4 million in 24 hours. When he goes to Mozambique, he must have what? A momentum, according to your argument, right? So what were the numbers in Mozambique?
They were less than South Africa.
So I don't know what the numbers were.
So they were less.
Mozambique.
Right.
But there's a build up. Like the
No,
videos are
Lalela,
being shared across all
Lalela.
the social media
Hear me
platforms,
out.
which influences people to follow him. I mean, I did not even know about
I
the guy.
understand.
But wait, guys.
You
Hear
want
me
to
out.
argue a point. I'm giving you the numbers, right? Ne? Now, when we look at the other page, there's another page that is run by a fan of Speed. What he does is that he compresses the thing into a 1 hour, 20-minute thing, right? That page is not the one that's controlled by Speed. So if I'm tourism board of Rwanda, whatever, government of Rwanda, and I want to make Speed look like he's doing lots of numbers in Rwanda, right? I need to make sure that his stream has got lots of people in because that's the one that's visible. The thing that I might forget is all the other pages that react to Speed. And those pages will be able to tell me. And that's why I gave you that example of like with me, I don't have my own TikTok. But you can see my reach by looking at all those people whose TikToks have got me on them or have got my content on them. And then you look at the engagement there, and that will tell you whether I'm using bots to boost my engagement or not. And you can tell that I'm not using bots to boost my engagement because I've got no control over those other people's pages, right? So look at the page that Speed does not control. In 16 hours, 221K Rwanda. In 24 hours, not in 24 hours. What's 16 plus 24?
16 plus 24, it's
40 hours.
Yes.
Right. Is 405K views of Zambia. In 48, right? In 54 hours, right? No, in 64 hours. In 64 hours, 627K views. That's
not even
in Zimbabwe.
a million.
Right? In Botswana, 553K views. Botswana day one, which is a safari, which is obviously, safari content, wildlife content does a lot. 1.2 million views, right? In Eswatini, 614,000 views. Mozambique, 387,000 views. Mozambique's got a bigger population than Rwanda.
There's something that doesn't add up about this.
Zimbabwe and Rwanda have got a similar type of population, right? Zambia, I think, has got a bigger population than Rwanda by a couple million. I think Zimbabwe's population is between 16 to 18 million people, or just under 20 million people.
Let me cook, Nan. This is what I was saying. If for us to see Uguti, because you are arguing Uguti, there's momentum. We will have to say, okay, from South Africa, he went to Mozambique. Momentum. From Mozambique, he went to Botswana. We're supposed to see the momentum, right? From Botswana, he went to Zimbabwe. Ne? We're supposed to see the momentum. From Zimbabwe, he went to Zambia. We're supposed to trace the momentum. From Zambia, then he went to Rwanda. It cannot be that from SA, all these other countries, the numbers are low. Suddenly, only when he gets to Rwanda, then the numbers now, suddenly they have changed. There's something that doesn't make sense there.
And also, then you look at what actually was the content from Rwanda. There's nothing from the Rwandan content that you could say it differentiates it or makes it special. You know what I mean? He didn't really see like an amazing safari. Yes, he wasn't streaming when he was walking with the gorillas. Why? Because he didn't have internet access there. It's so funny that Rwanda has Starlink, and yet they didn't have rural internet access. They've got Starlink via MTN in Rwanda, but they couldn't have internet access in the mountains. And why? Because they got signal scramblers. Rwanda's a repressed country. They don't have internet freedom. They block the internet when they want to. Have you ever heard that there's a protest in Rwanda? How can there be no protest when just 32 years ago they were killing each other in the streets? We were killing each other in the streets, like actively. And now, 32 years later, we've made so much peace that we don't even protest.
But yeah, it's fine. We need to
wrap up. We need to wrap up.
But yeah, please tell me Please tell me if it does make sense. For me, it doesn't make sense that suddenly the numbers are higher in Rwanda.
I will review. I'm going to review.
Okay.
After this show.
Please. Now, let me give you my comment on this one. When I was doing Mkwanazi, for instance, there were other YouTube channels that were talking about General Mkwanazi, and you could see that the numbers were numbering. It was not only me. When you go to this YouTube channel, you'll see that, okay, this one may not have similar numbers to this one, but the numbers are still good. When we were doing DJ Warras, the numbers were good to me. The numbers were good to somebody else. Somebody else. Like you could see, man, there was this thing, the numbers are good. All of these people are talking about one thing, DJ Warras. Everybody's interested to know DJ Warras. Then the numbers, you can trace them across. It was just, you could see that, no, Bongani is not buying the numbers. The numbers are reflecting all around.
I'm just interested, Nota. Why do you think Speed would buy the numbers or would
I never
want
said
to buy
Speed
the numbers?
bought the numbers. If you listen to what I said the Rwandan government, right, has got interests in creating a certain image of their
that's
country.
what he said.
Got it, okay.
And therefore, they might want to make it seem as if, like I also mentioned that they gave him a house. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Earlier,
yes.
I was like, they gave him a house. He even spoke on the stream like, yeah, I just got a new house in Rwanda. I don't know who would want to live in Rwanda. Maybe Tito Mbowene's ghost would want to. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing in Rwanda that is not there in Mahuba's Kloof. But that's some of the things that you need to be mindful of when you're looking at these things online and you're trying to get a measure of the impact.
Okay.
You need to know that it can be manipulated.
I want to close, guys. Nota, we didn't get to speak about SA Music Awards. Like, I want us to understand the how part, how things are done there. Because somebody once said they want to know how do you enter, like what is the criteria, and on our next episode, when you have time, we'll come back to this one, and we'll start this thing exactly where you said that numbers are manipulated. Because some people are complaining, Guti, so and so is in this category, but we don't understand how you get there. So we'll start the next episode from there.
Okay. So I just want to run down a few things quickly, right?
Okay.
So that we've gone through. We went through why artists still booked and broke. You know, why can't they fill venues? Why do they fail to transition street fame into longevity? You know what I mean? Alcohol, drugs, and ego.
Didn't do justice to that.
So for me, you need to look at South Africa's history and how people got into drinking alcohol. You know, one thing I know is that our mothers didn't drink. Our sisters are the biggest advertisers of alcohol. And I've got an argument to say that South Africa would still be in apartheid today if our mothers drank. South Africa is struggling to recover from apartheid today because our sisters drink. And a lot of the problems that we see in our society today is because of alcohol abuse. And in the past, it used to be certain men that would abuse alcohol. Now it's all men and women. Children too. I'll leave it at that.
I don't want to comment. I'm trying to, because the issue of alcohol is something that concerns me a lot. I'm just going to close this by saying this. It concerns me a lot because 2024, December 2024, in 2 days, people have consumed an alcohol worth 7.7 billion. This year, I'm told the number went a bit higher than that. Last year, just December alone, people were going to spend around, not last year, last of last year, obviously. They spent around 249 billion December alone. This year, it was estimated that they will spend around 288 billion. A huge chunk of that money went into alcohol. A huge chunk of that money was into alcohol. And maybe we'll need to talk more about gambling because 2025 people gamble around 1.5 trillion on gambling alone. So we'll speak about it on the next episode.
Yeah, no, we can speak about that. But this alcohol issue, because you brought it into the music thing, is that our music events are dominated by alcohol brands. If you want to sponsor, you need to have an alcohol brand. So we sell alcohol. The alcohol lifestyle is in everything. You can't sign a contract that's valid while under the influence of alcohol, right? So a lot of contracts, you see them on signing day, the artist is signing with so record label, and then there's bottles of champagne being popped. It's like, hold on. You know what I mean? Is this contract supposed to be null and void, or is it just a show? You're just pretending to sign the contract. You already signed the contract in the other room. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just for show. So we've made alcohol our spirituality. It's involved in each and every single thing that we do. We pay homage to alcohol. Umkiti, alcohol. Umshado, alcohol. You know, whatever. You welcome in family members, ancestors. Every ritual has got alcohol infused in it. And that's because, you know, we're a colonized nation, a settler colony, where we still live with our colonizers. And the systems that they put in to keep us down, you know, are still in place. And one of those systems was alcohol. You know, it's not to say that white people don't drink. They don't celebrate alcohol, though. We do. If you look at people's Instagram stories, they don't post the fun that they're having. They post the bucket of alcohol that they've got. Just think about that. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, that's what we're showing off. When you're saying you've had a good Christmas, you're showing us how many empty bottles of alcohol you've got. You know, and that is a celebration of alcohol. And alcohol is a poison. And it's very destructive. It's breaking families. It's breaking our entire society. It's stopping us from progressing on the things that we should be progressing in because we're alcohol addicted. And that is an issue that needs to be addressed in our society urgently.
They will not be tempted and ask about substance that cannot be named because apparently.
all of them are the same. It's just that those
No,
other
no, no.
substances are
Apparently-
harder to access than alcohol.
No. Apparently, some of these music events, allegedly, they promote or they sell.
Well, the nightclubs, yes. Like I said, watch the Hustlers Corner. I spoke about it. I said South Africa is the third biggest market for Hennessy in the world. Now tell me, again, did they bought it or did they bought it? Did they bought the alcohol? Did they bought it?
I
As
see what you're
Africans,
saying.
Did we bought so much
Figuring
alcohol?
amanzi noma sithengile.
Yeah, no, to bot is like, are they lying about the numbers? You understand? And you think of our population, our standard of living, our currency, we're not dealing with euros.
Okay.
Hennessy is made in a country that deals with euros. You're telling me that us earning rands, we're buying more Hennessy than everyone that's got euros, everyone that's got US dollars. Really? We're out buying people with stronger currencies than us, with bigger populations than us. You understand? We're out buying them in Hennessy. So the alcohol sales as well, as you're reading these stats, some of them are just stats on like, okay, this is how much was spent on alcohol, but how much, what is the increase in terms of the markup in the alcohol? We saw that in Cape Town, they were selling tables for R1 million for 10 people or 10 tags and a bar tab of 75,000 Rand or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? These alcohol outlets are also used to launder drug money, and they're also used to distribute drugs. How do you know that they're used to distribute drugs? Tell me if you can go to a restaurant in any posh suburb and not see a police car coming. Every waiter in these restaurants in Sandton and everything else is a foreigner. Well, most of them are foreigners, right? The police are coming there, right? Each and every single day, like clockwork, and not picking up any of the foreigners. Not picking up the owner for hiring foreigners. Just coming there, to check on whether their merchandise is moving. So these are the things that we need to look at as well. We need to look at the accounting on some of these restaurants and these liquor outlets, because I think a lot of them are laundering drug money. And it only makes sense that they're laundering drug money because, their occupancies are not at the levels where one would assume that, 300 billion rands is being spent on alcohol, in a month in South Africa. That makes absolutely no sense. It means people are spending more money on alcohol than they're sending home. Yeah.
Hayi. Sivalen.
Is that it? Yeah, some of us, we spend our money in December on ukufaka amagata nokulungisa. Kagogo. Hayi, Try